Good evening, everyone, and thank you for watching the Barre Beat podcast, streaming live to 802 Scoop from the Inside Scoop Studios, Main Street, Barre, Vermont. I am Michael Booten, and my co-host is Liam Hogan from Hogan LLC. Good evening. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
I can't complain too much. We're pretty excited to have with us Senator Scott Beck, and we're doing this via Google Meets for the first time, folks. So we're very excited to introduce Scott Beck, Senator Scott Beck from Caledonian, Essex, correct?
Just Caledonia.
Oh, Caledonia, sorry.
I've got 11 towns in Caledonia County and one town in Orange County.
Nice. Well, I really appreciate you joining us on Barre Beat. I know that there's a lot of folks that are very interested in learning a little information about the redistricting, and you are certainly 100% at the forefront. I've been watching some of the redistricting and seeing how you're representing your area is super awesome. And just wanted to, bring you on and give us a kind of an update.
Okay. Thank you, Michael. So, my involvement in education, policy, and finance goes back quite a ways. But most recently, since July, I was assigned to serve on the Act 73 redistricting task force. And Act 73, just for your listening audience, was an act signed into law by the governor in June, and it made a significant change to the Vermont education funding formula that is contingent on redistricting occurring in the state of Vermont by FY29. And so this task force that I was assigned to was the first step in that redistricting process, and to recommend up to 3 maps of how Vermont's 119 school districts and 52 supervisory unions could be more efficiently organized to provide kids a better education, more opportunities, and to do all of that in a more efficient way so that more of the dollars that Vermont does spend actually get to the kids and aren't tied up in too many administrative units.
In part of that bill, you were also very instrumental in that process as well as creating the bill, correct? You were on the...
That is true. Where I sit on the Senate Finance Committee, all education financing in the Senate goes through Senate Finance, much like it goes through the Ways and Means Committee in the House. So I was very involved in that, and I have a very close colleague working relationship with the chair of Senate Education and the 3 Republicans on that committee, the chair being Seth Bongartz. And so, I was very involved all the way through. I was on the conference committee, which negotiated the final deal before it went back to both the House and the Senate for approval, and then ultimately the governor's signature.
And it's my understanding that bill started off from the Republican side, where Phil Scott had basically given us a pathway forward. And as you know, the bill was gutted originally, it was full of stuff that I personally think was kind of made from all the unions, right? Not the unions, but the V's. Is that the terminology?
The education associations.
Yeah.
Statewide education associations. Yeah. It was introduced by Representative Tooth from St. Albans. Back then it was the governor thought that there should be 5 school districts. Excuse me. And that, of course, that's how it was introduced. It did have a foundation formula. And then the House Education Committee got to work. It went through House Ways and Means, eventually ended up on the floor of the House, where it really struggled, and it didn't really even have the votes without some heavy lifting. It came over to the Senate. Senate Education worked with it. Senate Finance worked with it. Made it to the Senate floor. The Senate floor pulled it back. It had majority support. However, the Senate Democrats, who are the majority party, were not comfortable with the how much Senate Democrat support it had. So it was pulled off the floor. It was renegotiated, sent back to the floor, where it passed with more Republican votes than Democratic votes, and then, of course, it went to the conference committee, which received a lot of attention.
Yeah. And I mean, the foundation formula, which is, I know it's very beneficial for Barry, because currently under the current setup, we get about $11,000 to $12,000 per student, per daily membership student, which
Per weighted student,
yeah, which is extremely, education financing is so confusing in the state of Vermont. And by having a foundation formula would definitely make it a lot easier to understand.
Yeah.
Yeah. This the redistricting task force is supposed to bring up to three maps forward. And I know that you submitted one map, correct? Was it one, or did you submit three?
I did. I worked with David Wolk, and David is a former commissioner of education, former president of Castleton, superintendent, senator, side judge, principal. He's got an amazing resume. I worked with David to put together a map that was based off of where Vermont's existing career and technical education centers are, sometimes called CTEs. And we worked on that map for over a month, three different versions through the task force, and then the task force decided that they weren't interested in that map, which divided up the state into 7 school districts, supervisory districts, and 7 supervisory unions, and it's not part of the report right now. However, there are no maps in the report. The report is without a map at this point. There's a proposal in there to do shared services, which is, districts can already share services in the state of Vermont. So yeah, we are on the verge of pushing out a report without a map.
Which is that's what you guys were supposed to do, is push out a
That's
map.
correct. Yeah. That was the point,
I mean,
right? To do that really hard, heavy lift of proposing something that I think most people knew. There would be opposition to redistricting, especially going from 119 school districts to 7 supervisory districts and 7 supervisory unions. But that was the charge of the task force, to do that heavy lift so that the legislature would have something to start with in January.
and it's looking like the task force is going to recommend voluntary. Is that correct?
That's correct. Voluntary with no maps.
Which, for folks that don't know, that's Act 46, which did not work for us very well. Was it 46?
Yeah, Act 46. Act 46 is a mixed bag. Some communities did really well with Act 46. Some communities struggled with it, and then some communities didn't do anything. But it's a mixed bag for sure. Over my way, I've got an Act 46 district, Kingdom East, where it's 11-town district. Now, they've done fantastic with Act 46. They've come together, sharing resources, streamlined the district. They're doing fantastic, but that is not the experience of every district consolidation in the state.
Yeah, I know Barry City and Barry Town had a really tough go at it. We had there was, for Act 46, there was a bunch of money that was out there. If you merge early, you get the money. We dragged our heels. We didn't get any. And unfortunately, on top of that is we did not do the hard work, which is merging our schools to get those efficiencies. And we have articles of agreement that don't allow Barre City and Barrytown kids to commingle. So first grade is taught up in Barrytown and in Barre City. So we basically, the only thing we did really was combine our school boards, which doesn't really give you the efficiency that's needed.
Yeah, Act 46 was very interesting. Some communities, they looked at it as, hey, this is an opportunity. Let's take advantage of it and do some good things for our kids and save some money, or spend the same amount of money to get more bang for the buck. And then other communities didn't see that opportunity for whatever reason, and have struggled with it.
Yeah. And it sounds like the redistricting task force will end up trying to recapture that. For our case, it wasn't very efficient.
Yeah, I think, it'll be interesting to see what voluntary looks like.
Yeah, because I think most districts don't want to. I think that was part of the push with the legislation was you're forcing them to come together. And I do want to let folks know, if they're listening, if they have a question, they can ask it, and we'll try to ask. And do want to give a shout out to Roger Bouchard, who is down in southern Vermont. Thank you for watching. Yeah, so I know, did you get because during the legislative session, Jay Hooper went around and was having everybody sign what they wanted to see for districts. And one of the top ones that I saw was the CTE, breaking them up by the CTE. Was that one of the maps?
Yeah, I mean, it's the only one that was even that was considered all the way through the task force. Yeah, the CTE organization around CTEs is an idea that has long been discussed in the legislature, and so that's why Dave and I took a poke at it to see, okay, if we did organize the state around our CTEs, what would that in fact look like? Our goal was really twofold. One is to make sure that every student in Vermont had a clear path to CTE. And what I mean by that is that right now in Vermont we have a number of school districts that don't have the CTE. And so for their kids to get to a CTE requires money to be taken out of the school district's budget and sent to the CTE. And not all, but in many areas of the state, that proves to be an obstacle to kids getting the CTE. So we're trying to solve that problem. And then the other, problem, not a problem, but the other situation we're trying to accommodate is to ensure that all of the districts in Vermont that currently have school choice for whatever grades they have school choice for, that was maintained across the state. So those were the two big things that we were trying to accommodate in that plan. I think we were able to accommodate them, but in the end, it would require a significant amount of consolidation, and that was something that the majority of the members in the task force decided was not something that they were willing to support.
That's too bad, especially since it was supposed to, that was the whole mission.
That was the whole point. Yeah.
I'm sorry you've had to spend all that time, and if you guys end up with just supporting a voluntary merger, I feel bad that...
It's not over yet. We have one more meeting on Thursday, so maybe we can pull it out of the fire.
I hope so. I hope so. Because I certainly would like to see a recommendation from the task force. It would make me feel, a lot better about what the legislation I support. Which, regarding that, if the legislators do not support this legislation, like if they don't support a map, if they don't vote on it, what happens in that case where we don't move forward with a map?
Well, under Act 73, if the redistricting does not occur, then the foundation formula does not go into does not happen. But with that being said, I think map or no map, that there's going to be another comprehensive education bill. And so I don't really think of the foundation formula as being lost or some other mechanism to accomplish the same goals. But so I think it'll all have to be dealt with again in another education bill this year.
And that the foundation formula that was set up, it was set up so that it wouldn't rise because one of the problems that we have in Vermont is our taxes go sky high with the current formula. It just randomly pops. Whereas under the legislation that was passed last year, it would only go up at the maximum of like around 2.5% annually. Because it's connected
Yeah.
to, it's not PMI.
An inflation index.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the big shift in the foundation is that right now the growth in education spending and the growth in the taxes that need to be collected is basically a decision that is made by voters on school district budgets across the state of Vermont. And for many years now, that has been growing much greater than inflation. The last 3 or 4 years, it's been exceeding inflation by 3, 4, or 5%, and that's what's really it's really tough for taxpayers to deal with that. Under the foundation formula, the growth in education spending would be controlled by the number of weighted students in the state and an inflation index. And so that would, compared to what we've been on for the last 5 years or even 25 years, that would force an increase in education spending that was more in line with inflation and the economy and people's abilities to pay. And so that's really the, large benefit of the foundation formula. And it's just easier to understand, I think, for people.
Education, the education financing side of things is, again, super complicated.
Yeah.
It's hard. I'm a chair of the BUUSD, and I've spent a lot of time trying to understand it, and it's still extremely complicated.
Yeah, it's a very complicated system. It's not something that a casual observer could understand.
Yeah, it's needs to be better, and I hope that we're able to make it better next year. So one of the things that the districting task force is they've taken a lot of information from school districts, from different folks that are in the industry, and including parents. What can you tell me what you think the thing that bubbled to the top of those comments and suggestions, besides don't change my school district?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there were really two things that we heard a lot. One is that parents that are from districts where they have choice, in whichever grades they have them, really want a system going forward where that choice is maintained, and so our plan did that. The other one is a little harder to accommodate, I think, given the direction that Act 73 and the task force was charged with, is that there are a lot of lot of people out there that want to keep their, their 119 school districts, and they want to, keep that situation, which is not what the charge was for the task force, and so that was a little difficult, and then you have to pick through, um, the education associations followed this very closely. They mobilized their people throughout the process, and so have to figure out how tied to 119 school districts is Vermont as a whole, how much of it is from a small group of people that are very interested. Maybe they speak for the majority, maybe they don't. Kind of hard to figure that whole thing out, but those were probably the two biggest themes.
So, and I won't keep you much longer. What can your average citizen do to help this progress or process, not progress?
Well, I think that your average Vermonter needs to. I think what we need is a funding system that is going to grow at a rate that Vermont taxpayers can afford. I think they need to be very clear about that. I think the other thing that they need to be very clear about is that that we need to have the options and opportunities that our kids have, that they need to be appropriate for what kids at these grade levels need. We hear that a lot from kids, that they want options, they want opportunities. And I think there's real questions as to whether 119 school districts can deliver that to kids in a 21st century world. And so I think taxes that we can afford and options and opportunities that benefit our kids are the two most important things.
All right. Well, I do want to say thank you for coming on a short notice. I messaged you last night and you were like, absolutely. It goes to show that, you're there for your constituents and for those of us in Washington County as well. Do you have any final comments?
No, just just want to wish everybody happy holidays coming up, and hope everybody's got their wood pile all put together for winter. Winter is one of those things that Vermonters do together. Hope you're all set up for winter, and I hope you guys all have a good holiday season over in Washington County.
And we hope the same thing for you in Caledonian County as well.
All right. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and I'll see you in January.
Definitely.
All right. You have a great day. All right, folks. Well, we do want to say thank you. We're actually going to go into a commercial that's what we're doing now.
Right.
Before we finish off and get more into our local side of things and our normal show, but we did want to give folks the opportunity to learn more about the redistricting and have Scott Beck on for him to tell us that.
Yep.
So with that, we'll get right on over to the commercial.
From your logo to your look, Yipes brings your brand to life. Need custom shirts, eye-catching signs, or full-color vehicle graphics? The crew at Yipes have you covered with screen printing, embroidery, full vehicle wraps, and all your custom designs that make your logo stand out anywhere. And when it's time to take care of your ride, Yipes, Barre Beat Sons is your go-to for remote car starters, spray-on bed liners, auto accessories, and general maintenance that keep your car fine-tuned and looking sharp. Yipes, Barre Beat Sons. Local, creative, and ready to serve. Visit us at 439 North Main Street or give us a call at 802-479-0055.
All right, Yipes. Definitely love Yipes. So we'll start our normal broadcast now. How you doing, Liam?
Good. How are you? That was great.
I know it was. It was great to see Scott. He's a great guy. He's definitely
awesome.
a great guy. And now you know Scott Beck.
Now we know Scott Beck.
Yeah.
I'm getting the whole gang, the whole tour.
Hey,
last few
listen,
weeks.
I've now figured out how to do remote. Maybe we'll start doing that more often.
Possibilities are endless.
It is. We could possibly have people call into the show, which would be kind of scary.
Call in with questions. That'd be cool.
That would be cool, but also kind of terrifying.
Terrifying. Yeah.
Most definitely. All right. Well, anything from Barrytown?
Not that I saw. I knew we had last night. Since we had Scott on, I wasn't sure how long.
Yeah.
So I'll have that next week.
All right.
I'll look. But I did see something. The Pumpkin Pantry is, they have affordable Thanksgiving stuff. So I saw it just now, just before I came here on Facebook.
Nice.
Somebody had shared that. It's like $10 turkeys and all the Thanksgiving stuff. So if,
All the fixins?
all the fixings. So if people need the the lower priced options,
Nice.
Pumpkin Pantry down there in Williamstown.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving?
My family's getting together. I think most of my siblings. Big gathering at the house. We usually do. There's 8 of us, so there's usually lots of food and lots of people. How about you?
Well, I will be going over to Alicia's for folks for Barre Beat and 802 Scoop followers. She's the one that does the blow up to glow up. She is my niece, and she'll be hosting Thanksgiving dinner this year, which usually consists of probably 10 to 15 people.
Nice. I love big Thanksgiving gatherings. That's usually great.
Yeah, it usually there's quite a few people over there, and it definitely fills the room.
Nice.
Yeah, it definitely fills the room. So we should probably let folks know the weather. It's not delightful.
And it's not trike weather.
It's well, not necessarily. So tomorrow it's going to be snowing with a high of 37, so there might get some sleet in there. Tuesday it's partly cloudy, so Tuesday might be trike weather, and that's 32 degrees. And I bought snow pants,
Nice.
so that I can ride my trike to work in the freezing cold weather. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah. Yeah. That's gonna be something. Somebody's got to get that on video.
Yeah,
Michael all bundled up.
yeah. I think somebody did record me one time because I saw them holding up their phone, and I don't know who it was, and if they watch 802 Scoop, you totally should send me the video clip
totally
because
send us
I
the
would
video.
love to share it. It was kind of awkward at first when I saw it, but oh, you know what we forgot to do?
What did we forget to do?
We forgot to turn on the light.
Right. We have the new accent lighting.
Yeah, you need to let me know.
Need to tell you. Should have told you over the commercial.
You
break.
should have told me over the. Well, you couldn't because it was still live. You could still hear.
And I saw you were busy over the weekend.
I was Michael on a mission for 802 Scoop, which was really cool. We'll add red.
There we go.
There we go. Yeah. So for folks that don't know, I went down to Tasty Bites, and I did waitering from 7 to 9, and all the tips that are collected between that time went to Circle of Central Vermont. Circle is a really great organization. They help women coming out of domestic violence, and I have a very soft spot for that. There's good reasons for it, and it was was a blessing for me to be able to do that. It's a great organization, and I'm not sure if you know much about domestic violence, but 1 out of 3 women are affected by it. 10 million, I think, annually in
Wow.
the United States. And Central Vermont, has quite a bit, and they do a great job helping people out of that,
That's awesome.
because it's tough, and it's really years ago, well before you were born, those structures and the conversation about domestic violence did not happen. I mean, you didn't talk about it. If you would put, women would put, makeup on, wear glasses, so that people wouldn't know that their husband was beating them. And it's the same thing with the children. They would go to school and they would say, I fell or something like that. Yeah. And that was not it. It's such a different culture now than it was then, and it's hard to imagine that. It's hard to imagine that. I mean, now if there's any, bruises on kids,
Right.
It's immediately reported.
Yeah.
But back then, you didn't do that, and it's we've come a long way. We have a lot further to go, but we have come a long way, and super thankful to Circle for everything that they do, and any little bit of help that I can do.
Yeah.
I remember being on city council and they came asking for something, and my comment was, I mean, whatever you guys want, you can get.
Right. Whatever you need.
Whatever you need. It's a great organization, and I'm super thankful that I was able to do that.
That was one of your highest tip totals since you've been doing that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was one of them. We're getting better each time. We're getting better slowly. It would be nice to be able to top like $500 for doing it. I will say that it gets really busy.
Yeah.
It gets really busy. It would be awesome to do that. And I'm not sure who's going to be next. I think for December, we're going to be focused on Christmas for kids.
Yep.
Right, because that's the immediate situation. And Tracy's already working on a donor box, so be prepared, 802 Scoop, for
Awesome.
that to be out there for folks to go in. So back to the weather, because that was a huge detour
right.
there.
We took an exit there.
I blame you.
All right. Well, hey, that's me.
All right, so Tuesday, partly cloudy, high of 32. Wednesday, sunny, high of 36. Definitely a trike day.
Nice.
Thursday, partly cloudy, high of 39 degrees. Friday, mix of snow and rain, 37 for the high. Saturday is going to be rain, high of 39.
Woohoo.
Sunday, partly cloudy, 39 degrees. And Monday, partly cloudy, 39 degrees. So, such lovely weather.
Yeah.
Are you excited
Yeah,
for the
that's
lovely weather?
39 degrees and partly cloudy. That might be sitting on the patio weather.
Yeah, you think so?
Cup
Well,
of-
39 degrees, yeah, probably.
Cup of hot coffee, you'd be all set.
Well, on Monday it's supposed to get up to 48.
Hey, there you go. Maybe on Monday, take the day and sit on the patio.
I think I need to move down to Virginia.
Oh yeah. Is it warmer down there?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can usually, during the Christmas vacation is usually when I go down, and I'm able to take the top off on the Jeep.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Because you have a real Jeep.
I have a real Jeep, yes. Which, by the way, Jeepmas is coming up. So, folks, just so you know, you'll be able to see and that's posted on 802 Scoop. Make sure you watch the page and get the details. All right. So city council.
Yep.
So for Tuesday night, there's going to be authorizing the first contract of $356,000 for the DPW. DEW is going to be the construction management for that, the work up there at DPW.
Nice.
Yeah.
Progress.
Yes. Well, the bond passed, so that's a
Right.
positive thing.
So O'Reilly's must be moving out up there pretty quick.
Yep. And they're going to have to move out once they start working on that.
So we're going to see dominoes start to fall there. Wow. That's
Well,
nice.
I hope not.
Hey, maybe
I'm
that was,
assuming they will find another location. I think
maybe that wasn't the right word.
No,
but-
that wasn't the right word. So I think they have plans,
Yep.
and I think that it's worked well in their favor.
For sure.
And I can't remember if Tom talked about it. Didn't Tom talk
He
about
did. I
it?
think he said somewhere. Didn't he say somewhere in Berlin?
Possibly, I can't
Berlin.
remember.
But I can't
Either
wait to
way.
see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah. Oh, you mean the DP make it
Right. I can't wait to see how it's going to change. I go by there every morning, so
Oh.
it'll be fun to watch.
Well, maybe what we should do is have you go up there and go live.
There you go.
You gonna do that?
Sure.
So Bear in the Woods
Yep.
is saying that they're moving it up by Shaw's. That's right. I think Tom did say that last time. Thank you for letting us know. I have a terrible memory. I can't remember anything. I'm like Dory or not Dory. Yeah.
Yeah, Dory.
Dory.
She doesn't remember
Dory.
anything.
She doesn't remember anything. It's a gift. It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. So sometimes you can offend me and I just forget about it. But then there's some times that I do remember. Depends on how many times you slight me. Then they're also going to be appointing 3 people to the Neighborly Barre Committee.
Nice.
And that's going to be Tracy Lewis, which is the
Barre Partnership.
Barre Partnership.
Yep.
Joanne Reynolds, who used to be on our Transportation Advisory Committee, and then Ernie Drown, who is the husband of Beth Hilton Gardner, who I believe that's the case. I might be wrong. I'm pretty sure that's the case. Who's the city councilor that created the committee?
Nice.
Yeah, that'll
You
be
get
good.
A wide ranging of people there.
Yeah, I think the committee can go up to 5, or maybe it's 9, between 5 and 9. I
Yep.
can't remember. I'd have to go back to the documents. That being said, the next thing that they'll be talking about is nuisance ordinance. Now, this is very interesting. So, years ago when I was on city council, I had looked into this. There's a nuisance abatement law in New York that is basically what this is. And I was going to try to get it to work here, and I just never did, and shame on me. But, so they're pushing it forward. And what it does is it affects properties that have frequent calls of service from the police department. So, you've got your crackhead up the street that's constantly, getting the police called, and they're getting cited for selling crack out of their house.
Yep.
Because we live in Vermont and that's okay.
Yeah. Come on, Michael.
I know. Yeah, who doesn't want a neighborly crack house,
I don't know.
right?
I have yet to meet someone.
You've yet to meet someone. It's not funny.
No.
It's not funny,
No.
and it's really frustrating, especially for those people that have the crack house up the road.
Yep.
Extremely frustrating, and they feel held hostage
For sure.
by those people.
Yeah.
And it's a problem, and it's a legislative problem, it's a judicial problem, and it's a prosecutory problem.
Right.
And until we fix all three of those, we're not going to be
Not
able
gonna-
to really get the problem taken care of. You've got to get good laws on the books.
Yep.
You've got to get good state's attorneys, and you've got to get good judges. And once that happens, we can fix some of this insane stuff that's been going on. Like, I'm selling crack out of my house and I get a citation. I'm back on the streets within like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Not okay.
No.
Not okay.
But the nuisance
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So
should help.
correct. So what it does is if the police are called to a property 3 or more times in a 90-day period, and citations are because they have to be legit, right? Like you can't have. I'm going to make a reference, and you're not going to get it. Kravitz, right? Kravitz. You don't know who I'm talking about. Bewitched.
Nope.
You don't even know what Bewitched is. Kravitz. Kravitz. I think it's Kravitz. Somebody drop in the comments the name of the nosy neighbor across the way from Bewitched's house, Samantha's house, and you don't even know what it is.
I don't.
She twiddled her nose and magic happened. She was a witch.
Oh, wish I could do that.
I wish I could do that too.
That sounds cool.
Also put in the comments whether or not you want Liam to watch the entire series. Because I think he should. I'll send you a couple links.
Liam's homework for the week.
Yeah, learn about Bewitched. But so it's not a situation where the neighbor is just like constantly calling the cops. There has to be a citation, right? And that in itself can be difficult because oftentimes what people do is they like get right up to the law, but they don't cross it
Yeah.
in a way that police can just give them a citation. But the most important thing is that this is in addition to other initiatives that City Council is doing. And this City Council is really serious about public safety.
Right.
And I'm very proud because the councilors that, and the mayor that's there, they're great people and they're working hard to fix our community.
That's awesome.
I agree. So the penalty is the property owner would get fined $250,
Yep.
and for the first offense, and then second offense would be $500. It's yeah.
It has to make a little bit of a change.
It
mean-
does. Well, I mean, one of the problems is that, and legitimately, like legislation on this level, like especially for landlords that can't get rid of somebody,
Right.
they don't have the ability to evict people, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I went to the recovery event on Tuesday, and they were talking about, they brought us through the recovery house, and it was really awesome. People, they come there, they stay while they're recovering, they learn how to do all this stuff over again because, most of them, once you've gone down that road, it's tough. So there's accountability, but they would fall underneath landlord-tenant laws. And this is it's basically a facility. And, if somebody started using again, they couldn't get rid of them, which makes no sense whatsoever. You're in a facility, in a house designed to help people through recovery. There's other people in the house trying to avoid drugs, and you have someone in there that you can't get rid of that's doing cocaine and crack and all the other stuff.
Yeah, that does make a lot of sense.
And they're not participating in the services, and it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
There's a bill out there. I've already signed on to it
Nice.
to make it so that they can get rid of them if they're not doing what they should be doing,
Right,
which
instantaneous, just
is right. It should be right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I will say that with the nuisance abatement ordinance, we really need to start looking at our landlord-tenant laws because it's not okay.
So is the council just talking? Are they debating that, or are they going to vote on it?
No, this is the first reading.
This is the first read. Okay.
So there's a first reading, and then there will be a second reading, and then 30 days from that point, it becomes law.
Oh,
So this could happen real quick.
nice.
Yeah.
Well, that would be good to keep up on.
Yeah, absolutely. And since we're doing Barre Beat Weekly, right?
Right?
Even though we're off tonight, because tomorrow night is the school board meeting, so we
Yep.
won't be able to do Barre Beat tomorrow night. Which, as a side note, there'll be a budget discussion tomorrow night at the school board meeting.
Nice.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Exciting stuff.
All sorts of exciting stuff. You excited for it?
I'm super excited for your budget talks.
Yeah, I bet you,
You are going to have so much fun.
No. I hate budgets. I'm awful at budgets. It's funny. Barrytown and Barre City are completely different in how they look at budgets for the most part. Barrytown has a very granular look. They like to dig in and go through it line by line, whereas usually for the city it's we need a percentage, right? We in Barre, the standard percentage is 2% that people feel really comfortable about for increases. Based on the documentation I saw, and that's for city, by the way. When we put out a survey years and years ago, they said 2%. Don't go over 2%. We've gone over 2% every single time, but
Wow.
I mean, and that's where folks was 2%.
Yeah.
We're looking at, when I saw the documents, it looked like about a 3.3% increase.
Yep.
So,
That's better.
yeah, I mean, that's better than 10%, which was 3 years ago.
I'll take
Oh
3%.
my goodness, that was bad. Ay, ay, ay. Of course, that doesn't take into consideration the legislative side, which, as we talked about education spending,
Yep.
yield, that has to be factored into it. And you're like, what the hell is yield? I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
It's confusing to me. It's something that the legislature votes on, which factors into the formula. 2 years ago, when all the Republicans were elected, the average increase for educational taxes was 14%.
Wow.
And that was tough. That was a tough one for people to swallow. And that's when they said, okay, Dems, goodbye.
See you later.
Yeah, which, and as we had Scott Beck on, it's tough. The legislature sent it over to the Senate, the education bill, in hopes that the Senate would fix it, and they did a better job than the House, and then the two parties met together, and our Senate and House worked together to create what is, currently Act 73. But even it's not the best plan, but it's better than what we currently got.
It'll be interesting to see how all that plays out too.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Do you want to talk about your favorite topic?
My favorite topic, the shutdown,
Yeah.
is no more.
I know. You
They-
excited or you saddened?
So I think I mentioned it last week, they had 3 departments they funded. It was the veterans, it was the congressional operations, which I assume is just congressional staff, assistants, whatever they have in there. And then I think it was the Department of Agriculture. So those 3 will stay funded for a full year. And then everybody else is on a continuing resolution at levels in 2025 before when Biden was president. So now we have to go until January 31st if they can get, well, isn't it 12 appropriations bills? So if they've already passed 3, they need what, 9 more? Big math here.
I have no clue. I'm not really good with national politics.
Me either.
I try to stay out of it because it's a shit show. And I
We agree
prefer-
on that one.
Yes. And people get like really activated about national politics. And I'm like, listen, let's talk about the local stuff, because at the end of the day, the stuff that really is going to affect you is the
local.
stuff that's being passed in Montpelier,
Right.
not necessarily in the federal government. And that's the way it really should be. It should, the power structure that was set up in the original foundation of our country was
Right.
your local government had the most control over your life,
Yeah.
and then the state government, and then the federal government. And it's become very top down as of, in the last, 50 to 100 years. Yeah, something like that. It's been pretty tough for the last 120 years probably. And it is what it is. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. January 31st. Might be talking about this again really soon.
I suspect we will be talking about this again.
I feel like we talk about it every time this comes around.
Well, I mean, since we've been doing Barre Beat together, that's what it's been.
Right. That's been the thing. No, but I mean, just in general, I feel like we're always on the verge of a shutdown.
Yeah. It happens a lot. Usually it's taken care of. But man, people really hated Trump. So and it's so bizarre. Like what was accepted was what was pitched like 6 weeks ago.
Right. All they did, from what I read, all they got was a promise to a vote
Which,
for the ACA subsidies.
and you know what? That they'll get that.
They'll get a vote.
Right. They'll
But I
get the
don't-
vote. I mean,
I don't understand the point.
the problem with the ACA issue is that it didn't do what they promised it was going to do. I
Right.
mean, there's not a single person that can tell me that healthcare has gotten better since ACA. There's nobody that can tell me that. Nobody.
No.
I mean, has it for you?
No, I mean,
No.
since I've
Well,
been,
you're still young, so
Right.
you can still qualify because you're not even 26 yet, right?
I'm 27.
Oh,
I
you're
was just
27.
kicked
Oh,
off
you were
of,
just kicked
Medicaid.
off.
But
Okay.
recently, since open enrollment started, I did find, they call them catastrophic plans.
Yep.
So if I'm literally dying, maybe it can help me a little bit. And I got that, and then there was a federal, and don't hold me to this, a federal premium tax credit.
Federal premium tax.
Federal
credit.
premium. It was a federal premium something. Anyway, the plan was originally going to be like $900. That premium for the plan I got. This advanced tax credit, whatever I qualified for with my income and all this other stuff. I went and I did this whole thing at work the other day. It was fantastic. So I got a catastrophic plan, and I'm only going to pay like $1.21 every month because of that tax advance, whatever you call it.
So you're paying $1.21 for your health care?
For a catastrophic plan, the out-of-pocket deductible, the deductibles and everything is ridiculous. But at least I have.
What's the deductible?
I'd have to go look.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is really not my business
No.
to be asking you on live.
I don't care.
It's like $1.50 for like a month. Meanwhile, like I was talking to somebody and they have to pay like $2,300.
Well, that's why I want to remember the name of whatever the heck it is I got. It's I can't remember, the federal, I can't remember what it is. But it's to help people pay for their premiums. It was really cool.
That's probably the one that they're going to vote
The
on.
one they're going to vote at, yeah. My luck.
Continue.
They're just going to, yeah, see you later.
I'll be honest with you, more than no offense, I'm willing to bet you that the people that are having to go through this process with the ACA are probably thinking, $1.50. Mother. Ay, ay, ay.
I was just happy I got something. I've been without, well, I turned 27 this year, so I've been without almost for a full year. So I was just happy I was able to get something, even if it doesn't cover everything.
Did you look into Catamount?
No. The one I got was a Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Yeah.
But healthcare in general is just, health
It's
insurance in general is just super expensive.
I have the answer.
To make it cheaper?
Yep.
Nice.
And public option.
Well, come on, Michael, do that.
I would, but I would not get the support from the rest of the folks. Because it's radical. It's
Right.
very radical. And I think that, and I probably will be submitting not necessarily a bill for it to go into place,
Right.
but a study. I think that my idea, which I can't, I will get a lot of hate for, because I think that we could do a public option, but it would have to be a high deductible plan that includes an HSA, a health savings account,
Yep.
and it would roll out. It would roll out to state and local employees first, to give the actuary tables the foundation to also include like business owners and their employees, and then roll it out as you go. Make sure that the system doesn't collapse under the weight. And but you're responsible for your bills under that deductible,
Right.
because you'll have to have an HSA. But
That's not as radical as I thought you were going to say.
it's pretty radical. From a Republican, it's very radical. It's
Gotcha.
very, very radical from a Republican. It's very radical. Maybe I'll work it out with legislative council and then pitch it and see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah, it's just a study. It's just a
See what
study.
sticks to the wall.
Yeah, you know what? There's somebody recording this right now, and they're like, "I'm going to use this against Michael come next year." That's okay. I stand by what I say.
Me too.
Just saying. Yeah, right. Yeah. Liam wants to pay that extra $2,000 a year for this plan.
Yes. I'll be your first, the first one on it.
We need the younger folks. Us
Michael.
older people need you younger folks.
Michael's guinea pig.
Well, no, I mean the actuary tables would require younger folks to buy in, because you subsidize the older folks. That's how insurance works. So, for example, for life insurance, you have to have a good mix of younger people and older people. Otherwise, it just doesn't work, because you have to have that. Has to be a way to pay out those claims.
Gotcha.
And you do that by the people that are paying premiums in. So, yeah,
Fun stuff.
all sorts of craziness.
Yep.
Healthcare sucks. But I will say this, not as much as universal healthcare, because people in universal healthcare die from prostate cancer. And that kind of stuff under our system, we have our healthcare is really good, especially if you can afford it. But,
How
if
many
you
people
can't,
can do that?
huh?
I said, I can't afford it.
Yeah. And I'm lucky I work for a place that offers it, so. And not only offers it, but has a doctor downstairs that I can go to.
You just have all kinds of,
I get perks.
yeah.
All right. Have anything else?
I don't think so. I think we covered everything.
I think so too.
We covered education, we covered healthcare,
We did.
we reported the shutdown was over.
Yep. All right. Well, I guess in that case, I guess we'll just say thank you everyone for watching the Barre Beat podcast streaming live to 802 Scoop from the Inside Scoop Studios. And we hope you have a lovely evening. Stay out of trouble and stay warm.